No, no way to share my screen from here.
And then no worries. So we'll just proceed with what we practiced last time. We will have Surabi.
I have it. I can see screen sharing at the bottom of my screen here, but when I do click on it, there's no response.
Does it pop up a message or just no response at all?
No response. No.
Okay, it's fine then.
On institutionalization of evaluation at national level, experience from Benin with Mr. ABDOULAYE GOUNOU. And may I extend a very warm welcome to all of you from India. My name is Survi Seth, and I will be the moderator for today's webinar. I request you all to please put your mics on mute and leave any questions that you have for the end of the session, when we will have a question-answer session. So just a brief background of me. I've worked with the Government of India, first at Niti Aayog's Development Monitoring and Evaluation Office, which is with the Government of India's Apex Monitoring and Evaluation Unit, and more recently with Ministry of Commerce's Trade Promotion Organization. I'm a member of EvalYouth Asia, and let me again welcome you all to today's webinar. Very, very happy to have all of you here. A few quick reminders. Kindly keep your microphones muted and your video feed disabled at all times. And for questions, please leave them in the chat and they will be addressed, like I said, during the Q&A session that we have planned at the end of Mr. GOUNOU's presentation. And for any other concerns, please feel free to email us at the email ID that is flashing on your screen right now. So without further ado, let me begin by introducing our esteemed speaker for today's session, the head of Bureau of Public Policy Evaluation, Presidency of Republic of Benin, the main speaker for today, Mr. ABDOULAYE GOUNOU. Welcome, Mr. GOUNOU. So very happy to be part of the session today. So a brief background of Mr. GOUNOU. He is a senior M&E professional and he has been Director General of Evaluation at the Prime Minister's Office, Benin. And he is the head Bureau of Public Policy Evaluation and Government Action Analysis at the Presidency, Republic of Benin. He holds a diploma of Advanced Professional Studies from Senghor University of Alexandria, Egypt, in Business Administration and Project Management, and a master's degree of law from the National University of the Republic of Benin. He has been involved in conducting process and impact evaluation of public policies, capacity development events, and collaborative projects in development and implementation, such as Twendle Bell, a program with South Africa and Uganda, and WACIE, West Africa Capacity Building and Impact Evaluation, a program with 3IE, within the WAEMU, West Africa Economy and Monetary Union, height countries in West Africa. Previously, he advised for 5 years to the government of Benin in economic strategy and reforms and in private sector development. I welcome you, Mr. GOUNOU, and thank you for being here. Please, without any further ado, please begin your presentation.
Thanks so very much, and welcome to everyone. Before starting, I wanted to introduce what is Benin and where Benin is in the world. Benin is a country bordered in the west side by the Federal Republic of Nigeria, at the west side by the Republic of Togo, and in the north both by Burkina Faso and Niger, and in the south by the Atlantic Ocean. So the country is not too big. It's a small country with 115 square kilometers and populated with 11 million people. We have a democratic regime with two levels of governance. We have a central governance and a local governance. So Benin started evaluation institutionalizations since 2008. Up to now, we are still progressing in this institutionalization. And to launch with this, I structured my intervention around the three topics. The first one is the pathway to institutionalize M&E system in a country. The second, we talk about the measures to take to succeed this exercise, and finally, what can be our perspectives in terms of challenges to face in this way. So let's start the presentation right now. Go to the presentation, yeah. Okay, move on. Move. Okay, so I will talk about the pathway to institutionalize M&E, talk about our experience in terms of where do Benin come from in this exercise. Secondly, I will talk about the stakes and the challenges for M&E institutionalization in Benin. And finally, I will talk about measures for a strong M&E system and good practice to produce evidence and yield evidence. So all this will be around Benin experience. Okay, go on. Continue. Continue. Continue moving. Yeah, continue. Next slide. Okay. So the first interrogation is the first we interrogate ourselves in terms of effectiveness of economic policies and development in the country. This interrogation comes out from our economic space, and that economic space is called WAEMU. WAEMU is a West African Economic Monetary Union. And 8 countries in West Africa are members of that economic space. And we have some criteria that governs the economic performance of the countries. So the first question we ask ourselves in Benin here is, what is the effectiveness of our economic policies and our way to development? And to answer this question, we move to a budget reform. And one of the main reform engaged by the country is the result-based budgeting. We decided to implement development to base our budget in the result base, and that starts strengthening the function of monitoring and the way our projects and the programs were implemented in the country. Move. Next slide. Okay. And when we started budgeting in the result base, that is the beginning of our work to evaluation. So Benin started these institutionalizations in 2007 and started strengthening the result-based public action management at the country level. And for this, a bureau has been created, and that bureau is the one I'm leading actually. And that bureau has been located for a long time in the cabinet of the state minister in charge of planning. And after that, bureau moved to the office of the prime minister, and today we are located in the presidency of the Republic of Benin. That shows how important the function is in our country, and how important is for the country management. So you can see at the beginning in 2007, when the office has been created, it has been located at the cabinet of the state minister of planning and development. Since that period up to now, the function is at the high level of the government of Benin. That means the government thinks that the function is a priority to govern and manage the development of the country and all the different sectors in the development process in the country level. Next slide. Next slide. Please, next slide. Next slide. Okay. So okay. So so it was then process achievement we had, and the challenges to be faced at country level to promote evaluation culture in public administration. So what is the foundation for a good institutionalization process? Two key elements is important. The first will be to have a strong engagement at a high political level. And second is to define the different steps to move in institution. The first one is here we have a high political will at the government side. The government decided to develop the evaluation function to strengthen the public management and develop the process at country level. And secondly, we decided to conduct a diagnostic study, and we did that diagnostic study in 2007. And that diagnostic study was conducted on national capacities in evaluation that concluded to a global weakness and poor evaluation practice. It is important when you wanted to institutionalize evaluation, to first do a map. So you conduct a study. It's a starting point of institutionalization. So that diagnostic study will raise where are gaps in evaluation at country level. And then from that study, you can elaborate your strategy and methodology to start institutionalizing. That is what we said. The first step of institutionalization is to conduct a diagnostic study to see where are gaps, where are strengths, and how can you manage to reduce the gap in terms of evaluation at country level. And the table you are facing actually is the result coming from our diagnosis study. How you can see it, we have different levels of gap mapping. We have micro level, meso level, and micro level. And through those different levels, we analyze the vision we have, the policy, and the regulation frame to institutionalize. At the beginning, at macro level, Benin had a vision in terms of evaluation, but Benin hadn't a vision, a policy. And we have also a regulatory frame to conduct evaluation. At meso level, we haven't a strong evaluation function. That means in the country, evaluation were conducted differently by many actors, and there's no stream and manage all the process at country level. So we come to a weakness in terms of evaluation function at country level. For a budget dedicated to evaluation, in the past, Benin hasn't a specific budget for evaluations at country level. And regarding the skills to support evaluations at country level, the diagnostic study revealed that the country had no skill, specific skill. We have we have economists, we have those who are specialized in planning, we have sociologists, but we don't have specific skill in the field of evaluation. And also, the professional capacities is very weak, and the specific training at country level is also weak. So that is the starting point for institutionalizing. When we discover all this, we then decide to define a methodology to undertake all of those weaknesses and strengthen where we were strong. And what we did is, at the macro level, we decided to implement a technical approach in terms of evaluating and enabling optional conditions for high quality evaluation. At meso, we decided to organize the function at country level by integrating evaluation practice in the public sector. And at the micro level, we decided to institutionalize evaluation by putting in place an institutional framework to promote and regulate evaluation practice at country level. Okay. To do this, we define a global strategy based on 3 main lines that we develop on the time. The first main line is to put in place a strategic and operational tools to support institutionalization of evaluation in the country. The second main line is to improve the framework for public policy evaluation. We had a framework but we need to improve it, to strengthen it, and to better organize that frame to support evaluations in function in the country. And the third main line we identified and defined was strengthening national capacities in evaluation. That is our core strategy to institutionalize. The first main line means putting in place some strategic and operational tools. We have two main strategic tools. The first was the national evaluation policy that we elaborate, and the second strategic tool is the National Evaluation Council. What do we do with the National Evaluation Policy? With the National Evaluation Policy that we elaborated in 2010, we wanted to federate evaluation development interventions at country level, define the global framework for evaluation planning and conduct. We wanted also to promote evaluation at central and local level, promote the use of evidence, and this policy is organized around the three main lines as evaluation institutionalization, evaluation practice promotion, and capacity building at country level. So the policy allows us to have a global view on what we want to do with the function of evaluation, how do we want to do it, and with which means are we going to do this. We have all this global view in one document that we called National Evaluation Policy. So our NEP is also a document of strategy implementation, is also a document that we use to communicate and maybe raise funds for evaluation at country. The second tool that we put in place to support the institutionalization of evaluation is the creation of what we call the National Evaluation Council. A National Evaluation Council has been created in Benin in 2007. And since then, this council advised the government with evaluation at central and the local level within the country, and help strengthening evaluation creation. Its Creation Act has been renewed in 2018 and indicates 7 members coming from government, local government, academia, and votes. So those members acting in the National Council decide and delegate our evaluation planning, evaluations budget across the government, and validate the evaluation finding and transmit the evaluation recommendation to government for implementation. And we also elaborate some operational tools to support this implementation, this institutionalization. Among those tools, I can enumerate some here, which is the Evaluation Strategic Plan, the National Methodology Guide, the Theory of Change Methodological Guide, the Gender Methodological Guide, and the Benin Evaluation Database online, as you can see the link. And we have also the platform of knowledge management on evaluation. We also have the strategy of communication on evaluations. So we have those different tools. They are the main have, and we use them to promote and get the evaluation findings and train also and build capacities at country level. So this is possible because an institutional frame is put in place to support the use and implementation of those tools. We have that frame. And in that frame, institutional frame, we have government, we have local government, and we have specific organs that contribute to make a very performant that frame. Here I'm presenting the advantage to be having a NEP in a country. Having a national evaluation policy at country level can show these advantages. At short time, the NEP helps financing evaluation studies with the existing budgeting mechanisms. Because we know what we want to do, where are we going with evaluation, and how many evaluations are we going to conduct in a year, in 2 years, and in 3 years. So we plan that and plan also financing through the NEP. And the NEP at short time help institutionalization through sustainable structure. Because inside the NEP, we have the map of the different actors of evaluation at country level. We know who are the main actors and what are they doing and what role are they playing to support institutionalization and promoting evaluation at country level. And also, in terms of advantage to be having a NEP is the NEP help programs and project implementation and monitoring strengthening. So with the NEP, you can strengthen your program and project implementation and also the monitoring of those programs to improve the use of the result-based management tool and better communication and stakeholders management and good advocation within the government and donors. If you have a NEP, you have your strategies inside, you have your strategic plan, so you can discuss freely with donors and also the different actors to promote evaluation. At midterm and long term, having a NEP in a country can help evaluation culture development at the country level, make evaluation systematic in the area of public management, and help national capacity building and outside public in and outside the public administration, and help improve planning and coherence of intervention of public action, and can help also improve national statistics management in the public sector. So having a NEP can be a good point when you wanted to institutionalize a function of evaluation in a country. Let's come to the second main line in our strategy to institutionalize is improving the frame for public policies evaluation. In Benin, national evaluation system is supported by a public policy evaluation institutional frame. This frame helps the Benin NEP to be efficient and effective. If you have a policy, it's not sufficient. It's necessary, but not sufficient to institutionalize. You must have a frame. And talking about frame, you're talking about structures and men. So those structures and men are the ones that are going to support the implementation of the national evaluation policy. So that is why we have created that framework called CIEP. And CIEP help is we use CIEP to first identify evaluation to be conducted in the country. Secondly, create the evaluation authority responsible to manage evaluation process quality assurance. They are also members of that frame. And CIEP brings together the evaluation stakeholders because the members of CIEP are the evaluation stakeholders in the country. And that frame helps disseminating evaluation findings and monitor implementation of the evaluation recommendation. And time to time, the members of the CF have a meeting to evaluate it, to make a break point, to see the way the implementation is progressing in the country. CF helped to conduct evaluations, and actually we have posted in our database 18 evaluations in different sectors, such as agriculture, decentralization, education, electricity and water, health, public administration, tourism, and handcrafts. And we have also other evaluations coming from the Country Bureau of UNDP, the country Bureau of UNICEF, the Country Bureau of European Union, that is to be posted on our database. So the way in the country follows this step. The first three step, we to the board of ministers, and because the government in evaluation council updates the report, and after validation transmit the report to the government with the implemented. Secondly, we disseminate the report among the stakeholders, and finally, those reports are inputs to the knowledge management in terms of evaluation through the platform that has been created. The line 3, in terms of strategy to implement institutionalization in Benin, is strengthening national capacities in evaluation. How can you be institutionalizing evaluation if you haven't technical skills, when you haven't capacities at country level? So we think that to support the institutionalization, the country must build capacities, national capacities, to support evaluation and evaluation institutionalization at country level. So in that way, we have 3 strategies. The first is to organize training across the country with sectorial ministries, with local government members, with civil societies, organizations, and with the parliamentarians. The second strategy is to organize and participate to conferences, and we do conferences at national level and participate in international conferences to strengthen our capacities. And we organize also the Benin Evaluation Days every 2 years, and we convene more than 400 experts across the world to come and share their experience with us in Benin. And we build also partnership in evaluation, such as Trendemere and WASI, as it has been introduced. And to support these institutionalizations, this is our evaluation institutional frame. In the red point, you can see the bureau I'm leading, and in the green circle, we can see our national evaluation council. So we are linked to the different actors, as you can see, technical partners, you can see the ministries, you can see the organs of controls, and you can see civil society, you can see local government, you can see also the donors and the different type of link that we have with those different actors to support the function of evaluation and the institutionalization and the promotion of evaluation finding use. So when we did this, where are we today? You can see, compared to that first table of after the diagnosis study, you can see today everything is almost green. At macro level, our strategic institutional national, we have a vision, that's correct. Today we have a policy, that's good. We have a performance regulatory frame, that is good. At meso, that means technical and organizational level, we have evaluation function, which is really strong. We are producing evidence, and decision makers are using evidence to make decision. And we, at a specific scale, it's yes, because we have built capacities at country level through trainings, through conferences, participation. We develop some curricula with the universities in Benin. So we have masters, we have certificates in evaluation. So we are building a specific skill in the field of evaluation. So in that side also is yes. At micro level, that means operational and technical tool. Yeah, we are moving very confidently, and we developed some tools for professional capacities. We develop tools for specific training, and we use those tools to feed high quality evaluations. And we even develop a rapid evaluation methodology to face unplanned situation, such unplanned situation and difficult situation like the COVID pandemic. Actually, we cannot conduct evaluation on the way we used to do it before pandemic. So we need to develop new tools, adapted tools to face these new situations, such as COVID pandemic. So we develop new tools to face those situations. And the overview of our global achievement within Benin national evaluation systems is: first, Benin has a robust national evaluation system today, which is undertaking high quality evaluations. Secondly, Benin produces periodically high quality evaluation that feed the decision making. Explaining, we directly from the Bureau have more than 24 evaluations actually, but we also get evaluations coming from the other actors of the evaluation in the country, such as UNDP country office, UNICEF, civil society, and other actors. Third, the role of the evaluation stakeholder are clearly defined, and the collaboration is effective at country level. If you wanted to come to this, you must know who are the main actors, what are they doing, and how you can convey them in a frame and manage all the process to be effective. And four, we develop progressively our capacities, and despite the limited resources, high quality evaluation are more and more conducted by the country level by national capacities. And finally, public policy evaluation become a reality and contribute to improve the quality of decision-making in the country. Stakes and challenges for MNE institutionalization, our case. So for us, first we need to clarify and make coherent the government action. Secondly, the evidence-based decision-making is something that can help our country development. So that's why we need evaluation. And high-quality service offered to population is something that is very important for us, for our government, and for the management of people's life improvement. So to go to this, we need to evaluate what we are doing, to reorient, to also better manage our public action. And we have also challenges in this. The first one is to develop and deep-rooted evaluation culture in the country. It's not yet effective, but as we started, we are progressively moving to that. And secondly, we have that big challenge, which is strengthening MNE and promote the use of evaluation findings to improve public action. Most of the time, the evaluation findings doesn't match with the politicians. They have short-term action to conduct. The mandate is short, and most of the time, the evaluation findings are not coming just in time to allow the decision makers to take the decision. So it's a challenge for us to be producing evidence that can be used by the politicians to make a decision. And this is our frame to evidence. We need to monitoring and evaluation work that is stable and very fair. We need impact evaluation work to produce evidence that can be used. And to feed this, we need a evaluation system as we are trying to build it to feed those research. And we need also that our economic world is very fair, well developed, and circulating information that can help producing evaluation. So we embed fair development environment to produce evidence that can be useful for decision makers. And this is our evidence-based decision-making process. From the bottom to up, we need the existence of expertise, we need the existence of users, and we also need that we have beneficiaries. Because if you don't have expertise to produce evidence, we don't have people that are using those evidence, and we don't have beneficiary of the public action. There's no need to be institutionalizing evaluation and conducting public action. So in Benin, we have expertise in conducting evaluation that are technically correct. Because if your evaluations are not technically correct, the use will be difficult. We have users, our politicians, our decision makers, and we produce evaluations that are politically feasible in terms of our recommendation. If your findings are not politically feasible, your evidence are not going to be used to feed decision. And we have beneficiaries who must benefit from the evaluation fundings to improve their life. And to do so, your funding must be easy, implementable. If not, you cannot implement the recommendation, and you cannot impact, you cannot touch the beneficiary. So to make this possible, we need to interact evidence production with a minimum project viability. So if we combine this, we can produce those things I talk about, and finally we disseminate, we communicate around it, and touch the decision makers that use our evaluation findings. Measures for a strong MNE system and good practice. Coming to, based in our experience in Benin, it's important to take account first. There are some assumptions. Then you need to have an adequate resource allocation both at central and sectorial level. Secondly, we need certain shorten the time of evidence production to insights for its use for decision making. And you need to develop and promote evaluation at local level to better involve communities and beneficiaries for a effective participatory mechanism. Don't forget, in Benin, we have two levels of governance. We have central with the government, the ministry, and so on. And we have local government with the municipalities and over decentralized localities. So you need to develop and promote evaluation from the top to down, to be sure that all the country is concerned by the evaluation matters. Improve planning and the implementation of an integrated information system to accelerate knowledge management and learn from lessons. We have to share this. We have to disseminate. We have to inform people on what we are doing, what are we producing, and how we can use it to improve our life at country level. So you need to develop a strong information system. And we need also in Benin experience, there is the need to have an evaluation act to legitimate the institutionalization process. The regulation frame is no more sufficient. We have a regulation frame. That's our case. We have it. But we need a law, because we haven't evaluation in our constitution. But if we can have a law and an act that make this legal evaluation, it can help developing evaluation culture at the country level. That is something we think we can be good. We need also a new dynamic to make functional evaluation institutional free. We have since 3 years now, the council is not working as we wanted it to work because some members left the council. We have to replace them. So we need to make a new dynamic to make the council really function and effective to support the process of institutionalization and evaluation culture development. We need also to develop new tools to face the urgent situation or non-planned events like COVID, as I was talking before, and we started doing it by developing rapid evaluation methodology and guide to help our evaluators to be able to support our work to institutionalizing. In conclusion, I can say that in Benin, evaluation promotes fair access to information, human resources autonomy, and better participation of people to decision making. actually will come to that. 2, decision makers, responsibility to use evaluation to improve people's life. And they are doing it. They are using evaluation findings to make decisions. And we have some examples we can give to show how evaluation findings are used by the government of Benin to make a decision. NEP. The NEP is a fundamental document. The National Evaluation Policy for us has been a fundamental document and a tool that helps government to promote evaluation in Benin. And our national evaluation system, the NEP, appears today as a strong means to promote evaluation in public administration for efficiency and effectiveness. And 5, environment that we created strengthen the institutional, legal, and regulatory frame to guarantee the independence of evaluation as well to conduct evaluation. And we have other partners, we need to encourage other partners and strengthen the participation of parliamentarians and civil society organizations in the process. That's why we are talking about other partners. That's very important. The government alone cannot promote evaluation at country level. We have to convene, we have to encourage the other actors that have been identified in our NEP, and we are working together. And we think also very important to build evaluation partnership across the world. That is what we did with South Africa and Uganda, and what is we are doing also with 3IE and 7 other countries from West Africa to build capacity and promote impact evaluation in our area. So that is what I wanted to share with you in Benin experience in his way to institutionalize evaluation in the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It has been really an invaluable experience hearing you and learning from the experiences of Benin. So there are policy professionals and specialists in today attending our webinar from all over the world and who have questions for you, who posted questions for you. And I think it's the beauty of and resilience of human spirit that we've fought through the current challenges, and the will to learn and collaborate from each other is still there. So I'll just read out some of the questions which have been posed for you, and you can take them up one by one. So I'll begin with what are the mechanisms to ensure that the M&E policy and mechanisms are sustained even with a change in government? The question stems from the person who's asking, Mr. Vijay Avinandan's local perspective and context. And I think this question also pertains to the overall sustainability aspect. So if you can touch upon that.
Okay. Thank you very much for this interesting question. First of all, I wanted to recall that we start this journey of institutionalizing evaluation in Benin since 2007. Up to now, we are still institutionalizing. And from that moment up to today, we have 4 different governments, and we are still there. We are still there. What is the mechanism? The mechanism is first that we are not institutionalizing evaluation through people, through men. We are institutionalizing evaluation through institution. That is why we are still there. If it was built around people, okay, people are moving, and so evaluation function should have moved before. Then is structures and institution. The institution has been created by the government, and there's an act that creates the institution. And when the institution has been created, it has been located at the high level of the government. In the Prime Minister's office, and today in the presidency of the Republic of Benin. Secondly, we had strategic tools elaborated for long term. Our NEP has been elaborated for 10 years, okay? And we have that NEP for 10 years. And in the NEP, we define a strategy to implement evaluation institutionalized. And we draw from that NEP what we call the strategic plan. It's also a mechanism to be followed to continue the movement. And we define also a financing strategy to finance evaluation in the country. And the evaluation financing is budgetized by the government. And finally, we have the National Council of Evaluation, which is a big organ that advises the government to produce, to use evaluation. So there are such mechanisms that help Benin institutionalization. And to finish with this, we started putting together with us the academia. So today our universities are developing certification and masters in evaluation.
Thank you for that very detailed and clear answer, sir. So the next question has been posed regarding what is the role of evaluation association in its institutionalization of evaluation, and does the evaluation association have the support of government, and is there a specific segregated budget, government budget assigned to the evaluation association? This question has been posed by multiple participants.
Okay, thank you very much for that. You know, on the continent of, in Africa continent, we have two ways. Actually, we are having two ways to promote evaluation and institutionalized evaluation. There are some countries where the evaluation promotion leader is the government. There are other countries in Africa here where there are only national evaluation association taking the lead and supported by the donors, right? In the case of Benin, it's the government, the evaluation, promotion, and institutionalization. So we are playing the central role and putting together all the other actors. That is why we are talking about our NEP. And inside the NEP, we identify the main actor that can support the institutionalization of evaluation. And among them, we have the civil society organization and our VOPs. And they are members of the National Council. So they where the evaluation are going to be conducted, how many evaluations, and they validate the evaluation budgets. And when they finish doing that, they come down as actors, evaluation actors, and participate to competition and conduct evaluation. So there's no coming from the government and specific budget allocated to our national evaluation to participate to conduct evaluation and they compete when the trend is launched, and when they win, they conduct the evaluation and they are paid. But before that, their representative is inside the National Council of Evaluation, where we decide for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year planning the different evaluation that are going to be conducted and the different sector where those evaluations are going to be conducted. That is the way this National Evaluation Association is involved in that process of institutionalization of evaluation.
I must say, that's a very participative framework and one that we can all replicate and learn from. The next question is, how does MNE, the MNE system that you explained, related to monitoring and evaluation of SDGs? And in relation, how can we ensure the participation of the poor, vulnerable, socially excluded groups in the national evaluation process? And related to this question, I also had a question regarding, you talked very, very beautifully about the short-term advantages of NEP being sustainable structures. And I just wanted to understand, as does Mr. Dirk Hoffman, who's asked this question about SDGs, of how the world over, with the focus on SDGs and realizing the importance and how crucial they are, how the NEP builds into or sort of builds upon the SDGs and attaining the targets that have been set.
Okay. Thank you for the questions. I have been asked this question 2 years ago in Addis Ababa. I was there for a presentation, and the same question has been raised. Okay. My answer is this. Benin has participated to 2 VNS, and we are actually in our 3rd VNS. And for the 2 former VNRs, we have been criticized just using administrative data and the statistical data to produce those VNRs. And they ask us, where is evaluation? Because only evaluation can explain how do we reach the SDGs and what have been the difficulties we face, and how do we learn from these to improve our work to SDGs. So only evaluation can help to do that. And when I was back, because in Benin, evaluations, we have the ministry in charge of SDGs is different from the presidency where I am actually. The presidency is not leading SDGs. So SDGs are led by the Ministry of Planning and Development, and this is another sector. But anyway, we work together. We work together because we have the Benin National Development Plan, and we embedded, because the plan is new, and SDGs are there before the plan. So what we do in Benin, we embedded the SDGs in the Benin National Development Plan, from which are declined our program and projects. So the SDGs are inside the program and projects, and in each single ministry of the government, we have the evaluation unit. In each ministry, we have the evaluation unit, and those evaluation units, the Bureau work with those evaluation units to define the objectives, the criteria, the indicators, to follow every single SDGs in each department, in the sectors. And when comes the time to evaluate, those units are preparing the information through monitoring the program and projects toward the SDGs. And when it comes to evaluation, as we are going to this year, we started the midterm SDG evaluation. actually, we are doing this. So the units will raise the information coming from monitoring linked to SDGs in the sectors, and we use this in terms of input to conduct evaluation. That is the way they are involved. And during monitoring, they work with grassroots, with people at grassroots. So people explain how are they getting water, how are they going to school, how are they getting microfinance, how are they discuss with those monitoring the projects inside the ministries, and raise the information and raise also the difficulties people are facing, both beneficiaries and also those who are implementing the program and projects. And all this information that are gathered, and during the evaluation, this is analyzed in accordingly to evaluation questions we prepare through our term of reference. That is the way we do it in Benin here.
All right, so there are a lot of other questions, and I'll probably read them out because it's been such an interesting session that we didn't even realize the time, and we're almost at the closing of our webinar. So I'll just read them out, and maybe you can take them up and also give a final parting message. So a few of the questions have been regarding training capacity, and in how institutions, you talked about training, building training capacity. So how those capacities are being institutionalized. Then there are questions about your opinions and comments on the possible biases that are created in the process of validating of reports to, say, the government. And then there has been another question about so how do you ensure coherence between the different levels? Because you talked about a multi-level government, and which is also the case in a lot of our countries. So how do you ensure coherence between different levels of governments, between ministries, a horizontal and vertical coherence to institutionalize the NEP? So if you can take up some of these and also give your parting final remarks. So.
I only hear the last question. The last question is how do we ensure coherence? That is the one I heard. Do you have other questions? Hello? Hello?
Please.
Hello?
Apologies. There was a question on the training capacity and institutionalizing the training capacity that you talked about, providing trainings. Then another question on your comments on the biases which are created while validating reports. And a third question about coherence between different levels of government and ministries, both horizontal and vertical coherence. So some of these questions maybe you can take up with your final remarks.
It's okay. First, for capacity building, we do it. Some of the capacity buildings are directly conducted by the Bureau. We do it because we have the frame, the evaluation frame, we have it in Benin, and we have some actors inside the frame. So we know them, and we organize periodically a training session that are organized by the Bureau. If we have a new tool, so we make a training to inform, to disseminate that new tool, for instance. Then we do it directly. Then I also said that we have a partnership with academia. We have one private university. We develop certificates with that university for those who wanted to be certificated in evaluation, and we do that. We have also a master program with the government, one of our state university, and we do it for 3 years. So students are registered there for 3 years to get a master in evaluation. So we do these things to build capacity. And we do organize also conferences, national conference, and we help people participate to international conferences to get knowledge, to know what is going on in evaluation around the world. That is the way we help building capacity at country level. How do we ensure vertically and horizontally the coherence in institutionalizing evaluation? Yeah, we have that main central document we call NEP, our National Evaluation Policy. Inside that NEP, the strategy of institutionalizing evaluation has been clearly defined, and the different actors at the different level, central and local level, is clearly defined, and the roles each actor have to play is also clearly defined. And we as Bureau are organizing, managing all the process to be sure that each actor is playing the role that has been defined to him to be played. And that is the way we do it. And as the government is leading all the process, we assure that each actor is respecting what has been defined inside the NEP. That's the way we do it. For independence, we as Bureau, we are located inside the government. Most of the time, one of the criticized is how your evaluation are independent. Okay, so what we do, we have that challenge with the parliament, for instance, every time. They don't want to use our evaluation findings to control government action, for instance. But because they don't trust us, they think that government will manipulate the evaluation findings. That is not true. What we do is the Bureau is just managing the evaluation process. That is what we do. And the evaluations is totally conducted by independent expertise. So we hire we hire independent consultants and firms to conduct evaluation for us. And they are responsible for their opinion inside the reports. So that is the way we are doing it actually, waiting that we have that law, that legal act that will institutionalize our Bureau as an independent agency that can be independent from government and from parliament, and to be producing evidence for main actor of the Benin development. That's the way we work actually.
Thank you, Mr. GOUNOU. I now request Anna Erica to give the closing remarks.
Thank you, Sarabi. And of course, thank you so much, Mr. GOUNOU, for providing us the time and sharing your experiences in institutionalization of evaluation in Benin. And of course, to Ms. Surabi, thank you for moderating this webinar so flawlessly as well. It's very impressive, and I think the whole discussion were very enlightening, and I believe the audience would also agree with me of how enriching the discussion were. So a few other acknowledgements is that we would also like to thank EvalYouth and EvalYouth Asia for providing this platform that we are currently using, and a few other announcements as well, that SLEVA will also be having its webinar on rethinking evaluation competency at a time of uncertainty. It will be this Friday, August 28th at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time or 6:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. You will see below that the registration link is bit.ly/SLEVA August. And if you want to hear more about the events that we are currently holding and other programs, please visit our APEA website, asiapacificeval.org. We are also present in our social medias in Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And again, if you have any questions, please email us at apea.secretariat@gmail.com. Thank you very much again. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and see you.
See you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Merci Abdoulaye. Bonne continuation au Bénin. C'est Ian à Paris.
Tu étais là?
J'étais là. C'était bien.
Merci, merci beaucoup.
Oui.
C'est souvent un défi quand on parle en anglais. Bon, que veux-tu?
Oui. Tu as fait une très bonne présentation.
Merci beaucoup. OK, très bien. Merci.
Thank you, everyone. I will be closing the room shortly.
Thank you so much.